Staying in New South Wales, I'm delighted to have the Managing Director of Red River Resources, which is an emerging Australian diversified miner, Mel Palancian. Great to see you. Let's go through the Red River Resources story because it's pretty exciting what you've got there.
Thank you, Gary, and thanks for having me on. Look, this photo is a picture of our newly started HILLGROVE mine in New South Wales. It's about 200 kilometres inland from Coffs Harbour, very close to the township of Armidale. It's a fantastic gold mine with a lot of history. So a bit of a history on Red River itself. So we're an Australian-based mining business focused on base metals and gold. So we acquired in 2014 the THALANGA mine in Queensland for $6.5 million. And we started production in 2017 and doubled our resources there at THALANGA. And then in 2019, we purchased the HILLGROVE gold mine in New South Wales for $4 million. And we've just restarted that at the end of December. So that's in ramp-up mode as we speak. We've also got a really interesting silver prospect in HERBERTON in Queensland, which we're planning to drill after the wet season.
Well, silver's in the news at the moment, Mel, so that's a good one to have in the portfolio.
Yeah. We weren't anticipating silver to do what it's done, but no, it's a fantastic opportunity for us, and the wet season's very frustrating at the moment. So yeah, hopefully we can get a drill rig up there soon. So from a business point of view, market cap's about $130 million. We've got about $15 million in cash as at the end of the last quarter and no debt. Board and management, look, I won't go through everyone individually, but we're all operators. So pretty much everyone is involved in operations of some sort in the mining industry and has, a long history of experience. The HILLGROVE mine, as I said, is very close to Armidale in New South Wales. Great location. It's a residential workforce. Infrastructure is fantastic. We're on grid power. And it's got a fantastic history. So really the modern history of HILLGROVE has been more antimony focused, but between 1957 and around about 1924, there was 7 plants operating at HILLGROVE and they were all gold plants. So really for us, one of the things that we're doing differently is we're focused on the gold. So basically find more gold, develop more gold mines and produce more gold. That is over 700,000 ounces of gold has come out of HILLGROVE historically. And hopefully we can do that again and better it. And there's over $200 million in capital invested.
Mel, just to go back on that one, so just in the recent past, they were focusing not on the gold, but on the antimony. Is that correct? And is that why they were having some issues?
Yeah, look, I think, it's ignore the gold at your peril. I think that's sort of my reckoning of what's happened there. So there's plenty of gold in the ground. And if they had focused on that, it would have been a much more significant revenue stream than the antimony.
Thanks.
And I suppose the other thing is the lack of drilling. So there's so much gold potential, and so few drill holes. Like there wouldn't be more than 100 holes that have been drilled in this district. So yeah, looking forward to drilling a lot more holes at HILLGROVE.
So did they put most of the expenditure into infrastructure rather than into exploration and drilling?
Correct.
Wow, okay.
And most of that infrastructure is around the antimony.
Okay.
Look, the plant there, it can do 250,000 tonnes per annum. It's never really been pushed. So once we're at nameplate, I think one of the opportunities for us is to really push it and see if we can increase that throughput. All the infrastructure's there. I'm not going to go through in detail, but one of the most significant things for us is since we've bought it, we've been converting the resources to JORC 12, and currently we've got nearly 700,000 ounces of gold. So to me, that's a really material resource base to kick off with. And we've also still got some resources in JORC 2004, which I'll talk about later. But once we convert them, I expect to get over 1 million ounces of gold here. So stage 1 restart commenced. As I said, up until the end of December, we've been preparing the plant to restart it, and that's up and running now. Been going for just over a month. The first ore feed is the Bakers Creek stockpile, which is 225,000 tonnes at 2.5 grams. It's basically free gold sitting on the surface since around about 1925. No one had done the metallurgy to see if it was free gold, so we ended up doing the metallurgy, and it turned out to be free gold, and put in a gravity circuit into the plant. Believe it or not, gold plant didn't have a gravity circuit, and yeah, we will be producing some doré in the next month.
Mel, for those that don't understand that comment on the gravity circuit, if you can just explain, if you don't have a gravity circuit, what that means.
Yeah, so basically what that means is you're missing out on the free gold. So it's at the front end of the circuit, and everyone knows that, you know, gold's pretty heavy. So a gravity circuit basically extracts the gold up front and makes it a lot easier to produce gold bars. So this should keep us going for all of this year, and then stage 2 will kick in. So stage 2 will be going back underground at the Mets. Again, the Mets is a modern underground mine. A lot of money's been spent on developing this. It's in care and maintenance, but, you know, we usually go underground, you know, every couple of days. The resource there is over 400,000 ounces of gold. There is some antimony there as well, but, you know, we're looking to go back in there and start mining towards the second half of this calendar year. And hopefully we can, you know, produce 30 to 50,000 ounces equivalent for, you know, at least 5 years. And that's based on what we currently know. So all of the ore bodies at Hillgrove are open at depth. Again, I spoke about the lack of drilling. So we have been drilling there, and I'll talk about the drilling we've been doing at Eleonora, Garibaldi. But again, all of the ore bodies at Hillgrove are open. The Eleonora Garibaldi is basically underneath the plant. It's been sitting there for 30 years and no one's drilled it. There's a Jorko 4 resource of about 400,000 ounces of gold there. So once we convert that, that'll get us over 1 million ounces. And we've also got Bracken Spur. There's 230,000 ounces there. It's partly been developed. Again, once we get Eleonora drilled out, we'll turn our attentions to Bracken Spur. We've got the whole mineral field. We've got over 200 deposits to drill out. Lots of opportunity here. So Eleonora, where it says historic Eleonora open pit, just to the right of that is where the plant sits. And these are all the drill holes that we've been putting in. And you can see, you know, there's a lot of gold that was left behind. The old timers were basically focused on stuff that was 0.5 ounce to 1 ounce dirt. But we've been getting, you know, if you can see some of those holes, 15 metres at 7 grams or 10 metres at 8 grams and 9 metres at 5 grams. So some cracking intercepts, consistently good widths and good grades, basically from the surface down. So for me, Eleonora has got the potential to be our second mining front. It is on a mining lease, and I can't see any reason after we start developing and producing from the Mets, we can't develop and produce from Hillgrove, from Eleonora as well. So really looking forward to converting this into JORC 12. So really with Hillgrove, we've restarted. You know, the capital cost is sub $5 million, so it didn't cost us a lot of money to buy or restart. We'll be producing, you know, a decent amount of gold in the next 12 months, and then the Mets with stage 2 will kick in. And again, that'll give us a long life, decent gold antimony production. And then, you know, expand with Eleonora and anything else we can find. As I said, there's a lot of ore bodies there that we have to drill. And I suppose just as a side note, Hillgrove is a world-class antimony ore body, but our focus will be on the gold. So basically find more gold, mine more gold, and if we get antimony with it, we're happy to make it and produce it and sell it. So that's really our summary at Hillgrove. really want to talk about THALANGA as well. So THALANGA is our sort of first mine, our first operation. It's 200 kilometres inland from Townsville. It's near Charters Towers. It's been in production since 2017. We mine around about 350, 400,000 tonnes per annum. It comes with copper, lead, zinc, silver and gold. And you can see we've got revenues of around about $100 million and EBITDAs around about $25 million. Last quarter, our C1 cash cost was -9 cents, believe it or not. And our C3 was about 49.50 cents. We've got a large resource base there. We're currently mining the Far West mine. You can see our production's been steadily increasing quarter on quarter. And in the pie chart, you can see the mix of metals. So really good basket of metals. You know, it's really good to have, you know, zinc, copper, lead, silver and gold in every tonne of ore that we mine, and we extract it and sell it. Again, you can see our revenue and our EBITDA increasing quarter on quarter and our cash costs coming down. And yes, THALANGA's been really in a good place and delivering.
Now, does THALANGA then give you, I guess, some revenue to help with the other operations as well, or is that its own P&L in itself? In other words, does some of the revenue from that help with Hillgrove, or?
Yeah, it does. I think, you know, THALANGA's been paying for its own development and its exploration, but it's also thrown off enough cash for us to go and do Hillgrove. So it's really important, but at the same time, we're looking forward to Hillgrove being cash flow positive by the end of this quarter as well. So once the gold kicks in at Hillgrove, it'll look after itself. Which
is great for those of you that are listening out there. You know, this is actually a really important point to make, Mel, because you know you have revenue. Which is allowing you to expand and to look at opportunities and to continue to grow without diluting shareholders.
Yeah, look, our last capital raising was at the end of 2016, and that was to restart THALANGA. So we haven't done any capital raising since then, and we've been self-funding our development, our growth, and our exploration. Yeah, it's a good place to be.
Yeah.
So the other opportunity at THALANGA is LIONTOWN. So LIONTOWN's our biggest resource there. It's over 4 million tonnes, and it also comes with, you know, copper, lead, zinc, silver and gold. But the interesting thing about LIONTOWN is the gold grade. It's the highest gold grade of any of our deposits there at 1.1 grams, and there's over 150,000 ounces of gold in the resource there. So really looking forward to developing LIONTOWN over the next 12 months. We're currently doing the design work and the permitting. It will take a little bit of time to do that, but you know, I think, you know, LIONTOWN's going to be a very long-term ore feed for the THALANGA plant, and it's also open. And you know, I'm confident that if we keep drilling here, we're going to find even more. So lots of opportunities at THALANGA. So just to summarise THALANGA, we've got a stable operation there, producing a variety of basket of metals that are pretty much bread and butter. Far West mine is stable and delivering. We've had, you know, some really good quarters of production, and now looking forward to growing THALANGA as well with LIONTOWN and doing more drilling there to increase our operating our resource base. And there is a growth strategy that we're rolling out around THALANGA. So we've identified around about 20 prospects around it, which hopefully we'll drill after the wet season. So really the final thing I want to talk about is HERBERTON. So look, it's an interesting prospect that we picked up. And again, we didn't pay any money for it. We just pegged the ground. This is land that time forgot. No work's been done here for about 25, 30 years.
Wow.
But to sum it up, there's a whole basket of metals, but really the things that's really special about the HERBERTON prospect is the silver and the indium. It's the largest, it's the highest grade indium prospect in Australia, but the silver grades are in the, you know, thousands of grams per tonne. So we've done a lot of groundwork here with, you know, surface mapping and sampling and some geophysics. Really, we're ready to drill this thing, but you the wet season's in the way at the moment. And I know the silver price is running, so I'd love to have a drill rig there today. But yeah, really excited to drill this and see what we can make of it, because there's some really decent silver grades up here.
And you're right, Mel, because everyone's talking about the silver squeeze at the moment. How did you come? You said that this has been, the land that time forgot. How did you come across it, and why did you peg this particular area? Did you know more about what was going on, or just
no? There was no sort of nothing sort of secretive about it. But we do look at all the prospects and the ground, that's surrounding our operations, and this is a few hundred kilometres away, but this came on our radar, and when we looked at some of the historic work that was done that people had forgotten, and the ground basically got dropped, and we pegged it. Yeah, so that's the story behind it, and it's who knows what's going to come out of this, but there's a lot of metal in the ground, and I'm confident that we're going to have some exciting results come out of it. So Red River, it's an Australian-based base metals gold business. We're producing out of THALANGA. Excuse me. It's been going continuously for nearly 4 years, and Hillgrove's up and running now. So really looking forward to ramping Hillgrove up and delivering the gold potential at Hillgrove. And both operations have got lots of room to expand and grow. So really looking forward to continue to grow the business and drill out that Herberton prospect up north. So let's see what happens.
Mel, thanks. I've got a couple of questions. With Hillgrove, have you got any, it's been mined, it's been around for a long time. You say it's 200 k's from Coffs, I think you said. Any challenges with getting people to work there, and also any environmental challenges? It's been around for a while, but anything coming up there, or all on track?
Look, I think from an environmental point of view, the site is very, very clean. It's a modern mine. So when you go there, everything is set up really well, and there's dams and bunds, and all the bores, everything is in place just like any modern mine is. I think it's fair to say that from an environmental point of view, it's a space that the mining industry, we all work hard to maintain our social license to operate, and Hillgrove's no different. So we are sensitive to that aspect of the business. And yeah, I think, in terms of Armidale, I think, there's about 20,000 people live in Armidale. So it's a good base for us. So we've recruited about 50 people to restart Hillgrove, and all pretty much came from Armidale and the surrounding towns. But, again, the mining industry does, have a people shortage, especially when it comes to sort of, professionals like mining engineers and geologists and metallurgists, always looking for good people. So, yeah. All
right. So if you're listening out there and you're a good geologist, go and chat to Mel. But I think it's also important, Mel, to put out there that there was $300 million spent over the last 30 years at Hillgrove, and you've picked up this asset for $4 million, and it's soon going to be chucking off revenue for you. So strategically very clever.
Yeah, and that's what we do, right? So we're operators. So our background is to basically find operations that haven't done so well, try and understand why that is, and see if we can add value and turn that around. And I don't see anything at Hillgrove that's going to stop us from achieving that, because strategically, there's a lot of gold there, and I'm confident that, if we focus on that gold, we will do well.
So, sorry, just one last question on Hillgrove. When are you aiming to get some revenue from Hillgrove? About the middle of this year or towards the end?
Yeah, look, I think the revenues should start kicking in at the end of February.
Oh, wow.
So we're getting very close to starting to pour some gold bars. We've commissioned the front end of the plant, so the crushing, grinding, flotation, gravity circuits are working really well. We've just started leaching, so we've just started the leach circuit, and hopefully we'll start the back end elution circuit very shortly to enable us to start smelting some gold.
Well, we've just run out of time, Mel. Thanks so much for joining us at the Virtual Gold Conference today.
Thanks, Gary.